He's come all the way from Beverly. His name is Stuart Gribbon!
Alright, how are we doing? Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I just said I'm Stuart Gribbon. Some stuff about me. When I was younger, I was in the street playing with my friends, and he'd keep my ball into next door's garden. Luckily, the surgeons were able to reattach it. My wife plays dodgeball. She's pretty good at it. She hasn't touched them in months. I've got 2 kids, and I think the reason I keep getting my wife pregnant is the same reason that I'm always getting stuck at roundabouts. I'm crap at pulling out. So that just gives you a taste of the kind of jokes that I tell. But before we get into it properly, I just wanted to do something just to raise and maintain the energy levels in the room a bit. Because I used to be a teacher, like yourselves, and whenever I wanted to raise the energy levels up in the classroom, what I would do was I would get them moving about. So I'm going to play a game with you all, and it's called Stand Up, Sit Down. And the rules are really simple. I'm going to give you 2 options. If you choose the first option, you stand up. If you choose the second option, you sit down. Nice and simple. So just to start us off with, I want everybody to stand up if you're able to. So join. Come on, lads, join in. Up you get. Here we are. All right. Come on, sir. That's it. Thank you. Right, I'll give you a nice, easy one to start off with. All right. So, do you prefer showers or baths? So stand up for showers, sit down for baths. Okay, and hopefully this will help us learn a bit about each other. We've already got 2 bath fans in the room, as you can see. Okay. The second one, okay, do you prefer chicken or beef? Stand up for chicken and sit down for beef. If you're vegetarian, then you can do a little hover like that. Okay? Yeah, we're starting to learn something about each other. Brilliant. This next one's a bit trickier. Would you rather suck a cock or take one up the arse? Stand up for suck a cock. Sit down for take one up the arse. If you love both, then hover. So we've got nice to. We've got some crowd quite a few of you sat down, ironically, a little uncomfortable after you've taken one up the arse. I noticed you 2 sat down straight away. Is this going to happen? Are we going to top and tail later after Steve's party? Yeah? Big spoon. Thanks for playing along. Thanks for taking part with me. That just for the record, I didn't do that one with my students. Often. If it was the end of term, as a bit of a treat. As I said, I'm Stuart Gribbon, and one thing about that bit actually, I did it once, and there was a wheelchair user in the audience, and he came up to me afterwards, and he kind of looked at me, and I looked at him, and he went, "It's a good job I like it up the arse, isn't it?" So let me tell you about the kind of week that I had last week. On Monday, my week was off to a bit of a rough start actually. I tried picking up a blind from Dunelm, but he kept insisting on bringing his dog with him. On Tuesday, I had a job interview, and they said, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?" I said, "I think we'll still be using mirrors." I said, "I don't think technology will have advanced that much that we no longer need mirrors in order to see ourselves." I didn't get the job. But I was getting a bit desperate actually. I needed some cash, and so me and my friends decided to try and rob a bank. I was a bit nervous, and then the getaway driver pulls up dressed as an abacus, and something told me I could count on him.
Good luck.
But the bank job didn't go so well, so I thought I'm going to steal items from celebrity homes and try and sell them on eBay to earn some money. My friend said it was too dangerous to try and steal kitchen utensils from the home of Jonathan Ross, but I said it's a risk I'm willing to take. thank you very much. Yeah, so that didn't go great either. Friday was weird. I saw an old man crossing the road wearing a bonnet. I say he was wearing a bonnet, I hit him with my car. Saturday, I had to phone the police because I was being followed, but apparently that's how Instagram works. Sunday was a good day. I went to visit my grandma. I prefer seeing my grandma when the weather's a bit warmer, because whenever you visit her in the winter, you can see her nipples through her tights. Yeah. It's if they don't sort out this the energy price crisis soon, I'm not going to see her at all over the winter next year. I'll tell you that. Yeah, I was visiting my grandma because. Oh, actually, speaking of breasts. Hello, welcome. You've come at the we're talking about breasts, specifically my grandma's breasts. Apparently, women have one breast larger than the other, and that's true. I came up with a handy rhyme to help you remember which one. It's righty mighty, lefty less hefty. That'll help you remember which one's which. So I went to see my grandma, and the reason I was there is because she was having some computer troubles, and and she said, I said, Grandma, what's the matter with the computer? And she said, it won't let me set a new password. That's my grandma. She's from Scarborough.
Are you sure?
I said, what are you trying to set your password to? Forrest Gump. I was like, why are you trying to set your password to Forrest Gump, Grandma? She said, it said it needed to include at least one special character. So her Wi-Fi password's Forrest Gump ! In case anyone wants to steal her Wi-Fi. But she's a bit odd, my grandma. When I was younger, my granddad would wind her up by falling asleep all the time. He would fall asleep at the dinner table whilst watching TV, and it used to do her head in. So one day she said to me, she said, next time you see your grandma, her voice has changed, this is before she started smoking. Next time you see your grandma, next time you see your granddad with his eyes closed, you'll give him a big slap from me. Made the funeral a bit awkward.
Don't take the piss.
No, it's got come in, welcome. Yeah, so that's my grandma. One thing I've noticed that I'm not a fan of is when people go the extra mile. I mean, that sounds weird, but like, if you imagine you've agreed on a destination as a group, and you get there, and you go, where's Martin? Oh yeah, Martin did get here, but then he fucked off for a mile in that direction. That's not useful to anybody, is it? Oh yeah, I know you said to drop you off at the station, but I thought I'd go the extra mile for you. Yeah, the station's about a mile back that way. Yes, you do need to pay for the extra mile. Oh, I know you've come just to have your appendix out, but our surgeons really went the extra mile for you, removed the lung and the kidney as well. You're welcome. And then just because Martin, who teaches history, bothers to learn the students' names, suddenly he's gone the extra mile and he's up for promotion. Whereas I get conversations like, we don't think your sitcom stand-up game is appropriate for the students. We're going to have to let you go. Yeah. So that's why I'm not teaching anymore. And also why I'm on a list. Yeah, the job interview didn't go well. He meant, where do you see yourself career-wise? Not where do you literally see yourself in 5 years' time. I get that now. And yeah, things not going great. That whisk only sold for £8.50 on eBay. So I'm unemployed, trying to do a bit of stand-up comedy to try and earn some cash. which is fine. I like stand-up comedy. I enjoy going to watch stand-up comedy. I actually went to see an act recently who called himself the masturbating comedian. And what he did was he came on stage.
Really?
I did a gig with him actually recently, and I was backstage with him, and he was preparing for his show, and he was putting like washing up liquid down his penis. I was like, "Why are you doing that?" He said, "Look, I've got to come clean." And the last thing he said to me was, "If you think I'll ever be in a double act, well then you've got another thing coming." Folks, the last thing I want to do is I want to share with you some short stories that I've written. So these are like my take on fairy tales. So I've written some kind of like short stories. They all start with once upon a time. So I'm just going to read them to you and make what you will of them. Okay.
Using the short mic.
Using the short mic. Yeah. I don't know how to make it taller, so I'm going to do this. Well, thank you for pointing it out and making me feel insecure about it.
He's the drug dealer. He's made the IQ there.
Yeah. Okay. Once upon a time, Snow White was feeling happy. This gave Happy an erection. That was the first one. Once upon a time, there was a princess called Cinderella who loved going to the balls, but only when the prince had shaved them. Once upon a time, there was a princess and a frog. The princess said, "I will kiss this frog in the hopes he will turn into a handsome prince." And the frog said, "Please stop calling me that, it is racist." Once upon a time, a prince asked the princess if she would participate in something called a golden shower. That one's called The Princess and the Pea. Once upon a time, Snow White was feeling grumpy because Happy had given her an STI. Folks, you've been a really good audience, and I was only supposed to do 10 minutes. And I went slightly over, I think, and some people would call that unprofessional. I like to think of it as I went the extra mile. Thank you very much.